Hello everyone, we Sonic the Jug Gamer here and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time we met Ren and was actually I honestly forgot what we did last time. Oh yeah, that's right, we actually went for a run and gave it up a bit because we were new to it, and hey, Emi seems happy that we are back. And this is new content, but I will we'll actually show it off during Emmy's run because this is more important to her than it is about Rin. I'm not sure if you have to see this scene and have to go for take it easy. I don't know if you have to say you'll take it seriously to the doc or not. For Rin, I just played it safe. I let Emmy go on with her own pace and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting any sort of a real fight out here, is it? We really aren't. Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? Yeah, we're running for exercise, not running for getting better. There's no need to be pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? Yes, it is. As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Amy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed, but not going on her path. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I got nothing to prove to myself either. I can't disagree. I'm just fine the way I am. And what? I'm not the runner. Was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this? Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's gotta be some other way to keep healthy. There should be. Walking, maybe? Nice afternoon walks? Uphill and downhill specifically? Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to me and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Again, I'm not sure if we have to see the scene or not, if it has any sort of play. But after that is more or less usual of us reflecting a lot of the past few months, our medication, how our life is a lot different, and of course, Kenji. Kenji going out very, very early for whatever reason. And apparently he wears a hat, even though he doesn't. His actual reason was going outside in order to go and find where the date is, although that's probably just an excuse. He doesn't trust phones. Kenji's really a character. I'm kind of a bit sad that I'm skipping all this. Like with the beaten in the head, like him suffering trauma from getting beaten up by a phone, because they're trying to be a smartass, and it's like, yeah, where else? In my ass? As if getting smacked there will cause amnesia. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. Don't know why I kept this in. The class gone on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. First days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Buddha finishes his lectures about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Makoto. But what I meant was more of the reminder of his sentence was buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost no one's paying attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. So, I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special on Jaffa. Emmy's homemade lunch boxes and the privilege of enjoying them in the private of two bombshell beauties. Her awfully flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy shakes a very confident-looking pose as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing off a very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You sit there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. Ouch. This is one of the most depressing music imaginable. So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't go there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself. Okay. Who will? Come with me! Without answering my question, or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run and forgot to eat it. Huh. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. On top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who is the intrepid individual who moved that lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Don't do that! Very dangerous! Eek! Hello? Yikes! You scared me, Rin! Wait, isn't she? Hello? Noticing that Rin is big to be, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look up to Emmy. She's afraid of yours? Rin has her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the confidence off. I invited his out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I had food for free. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is, well, nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as in other schools. Few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangular and at the cafeteria. Few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards a convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town strikes me very strongly. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like the life depend on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine. Look at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think of how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear, Korean sky. Cool breeze sweeping over the rooftops make me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers. Not smug and car exhaust like I'm used to, just a few weeks ago. Emi settles on the bench with Rin in tow, produces one bag and two small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Sal, what are you waiting for? She's begging me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I see myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emi surpasses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks. I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off and I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen her before, I can't help but be impressed by her dexterity. This is a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing, or either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does this just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emi tearing into her lunch, as if I had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emi looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning runs always woke up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? Still for the second time. I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your speech have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I should go to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you do me? Rin seems content to let Emi answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we would assign rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes in a shirt. Huh? Emi giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we got all our limbs. Get it? And two heads and torsos. Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every day and not get along. I see. Rin chooses a moment to interject. I have trouble with shorts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping. At least Emi seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods to what I suspect is to be meant in a sage manner. I see, I see. Conversation dies off as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Let me finish her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good! As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With the floor, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to one that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, compared with the pink color scheme, and keeps the equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Cranberry! Rin dexterously stabs a straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Fun fact, I love cranberry. My family does, actually. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is. By the time I keep my comment to myself, when Meme would give us ice cream, somehow I don't think either Emi or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they walk around their particular disabilities. One of my sisters would always choose more of the candy cranberry than the actual ice cream. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. And that's the end of the story. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hassel, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice. Actually, I like high places. For the view. I don't. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve! She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most offended puppy dog I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but she's happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess that makes us friends now. Yay! Or at least acquaintances. Yay! The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again! I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away! Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. So, I really wanted to get that story out of the way. Because cranberry sauce is so good. But anyways, we have books of it to return. We go return it. Surprise Yuko, because Yuko gets startled easily. We go find more books. We go and see Hanako, who is reading a lot. And we decide to go and leave after we scan out our books. We have materials to get, so we decide to head to the grocery store. Well, convenience store. And who's waiting for us but Lily? Correction, she's waiting for Hanako, but since Hanako's busy, we will have to escort her to town as well. It's such a good thing that she has a good memory for voices. It's a good thing that Hanako's an avid reader, but sometimes it seems to worry Lily. As we go and take our journey down, it's a nice and quiet visit. I was complete with yawning. Why was you tell me this? I am very weak to yawning, it seems. But yeah, this is a new beginning for us. Not exactly a new life, as our old one will catch up to us. But hey, let's go and make new friends here. Anyways, we get to town and we need to find the convenience store. And of course, Lily is able to find us. Well, not find us, but take us there. Which is lucky for us. And considering that Lily's blind, she's gonna have to have us help her by carrying 2 baskets and following us with the cuff, by holding onto our cuff. So, close proximity, much like with Rin and Emi. The question is, who was sitting closer to who? I always imagined it was Emi, Rin, then us. So, Rin was in the middle. Anyways, we go, grab our items, pay. It's the night sky. And everything being in complete chaos because of Shizune wanting everything done before it's too late. But we walk into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of foods and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? Notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Rin? What are you doing here so late? Rin? Lily pokes her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. Suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. Yeah, it's Rin Tezuka, I think her last name was, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something that forces a fusion of a composed smile and painful cringe. I understand. Guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. Not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie. Or a statue. A statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. There was an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing this late? I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Some people asked me that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I don't know. They don't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So, this is pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. They were going that way. She turns facing her right and orders them to shift the direction of the people. Other people went in as if that was important. Then rotates back like a mechanical puppet and one of those overly complicated clock walks. Like my train! For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. My locomotive mechanical gears wooden train! Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our simplified lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of that sort, though. Nah, I don't think it's that. The other passerbys were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decided on the latter. It seems that most of the time, it's better to not read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer, who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said, even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I push that thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. Probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what that kind of idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there's some definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. This ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's, as far as I can tell, on base, assurance aside, what should she do? We could just bring her to, or leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. But it's late, and I don't think we're getting anything if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, she doesn't seem to be on par with winning the lottery. To be fair, sometimes I forget precisely what I'm doing as well. Several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet too. I appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. Seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she stayed subdued. So, I assumed you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock as she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Ah, I see. She went to the Ace Attorney games of surprises. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No, what? What did you think that? You knew what I was doing. It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before, to get to the store. If you were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. I mean, yeah, imagine if your friend was a mind reader. Like Kenji, Rin appears to be quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, this is the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Ren shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answers I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school? Lily interjects just as I am about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising the fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point staying here. Rin considers rather simple deductions for a moment, then nods. Okay. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on her shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, 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 step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. A quiet apart from the relaxing one into town at that. So, how's the mule going? We are going to get bad luck. Never talk about work in progress. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill, Yamakuris on top of is surprisingly steep. Going uphill, we slow the pace, but I still feel the pulse rising, breathing. This is not working. Breathing getting heavier. Almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder. Interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something, I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright? What do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. Now this is important. You do need to say, sorry I'm not in very good condition. If you go for the other one, you won't go on Rin's path. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh, is it something that is related to being transferred here? I mean... She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she's being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though. While I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. I thought this wouldn't matter because Vin already knew about it. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanuko said you looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought... Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off a measure of concern. To be fair, everyone's here for a problem, so if mine's not physical looking... As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. Surprised that she's this flustered. Considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness, she must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. Well, I guess to be fair, it's not necessarily mental, because it's still physical, it's about her heart. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart with Mia. Had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it. I spent most of the spring in the hospital, and then Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we really don't know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. Now if I recall, if you don't say this, you don't get the scene. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm going to fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs or a time machine? This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule. Recalling Shizune's expression at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She left herself open for a I told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to walk for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me, so I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There was a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she will be fine. She's just how to say? Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion, melodiously nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I really don't understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry that she had her own shortcomings of preventing her becoming closer to Rin. So I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably a disguised yawn. Imagine she's as exhausted as this all like I am. I better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different from normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. Wait, I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. So do we have the coolers or something in our rooms? Relaxed, I'd say, but that's just probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say Hanako to me. Or for me. I will. Good night. No, seriously, do they just have freaking refrigerator coolers or something? Yeah, this is all for this time. I'll see you guys next time. See you guys then.